CT, you see this?
Look, if it ain't official Dana J, Levi for Kelly, Primadonnanews, I don't even want to see it. Just take the time.
You're going to see this in future testimony, but Azrael knows where everything is. When I say the tapes, she knows who's who. She knows where the bank accounts are, where the money is. She knows who's using who. Not seen what we've been trying to show you, that you've been brainwashed. But once she watched that documentary and she read the emails that I sent over to her, that he was sending to Joycelyn, telling Joycelyn the same things that he told her. Hiding other tapes for Azrael, just like London on the Track's mom was doing. Cheryl, I forgot her last name, Cheryl Mack or whatever. And so I'm trying to tell you without telling you too much, because like I said, this is a federal case, and I've even helped out the feds with all the information that I've been given. So I was working with the Department, was it the Department of State? Homeland Security, one of them damn things. Homeland Security, my lawyers were, to hand them over everything that we had received.
Was whether or not these women were over age. And once it was determined that they were of age when they met him, we faced a host of issues. And so, like Tim said, 3 years ago when they came in my office, after he called me, I first started to strategize, how can I help? Because legally there weren't too many options. But what we had to do was destroy the narrative that's been surrounding this individual and many cases like this, that these are women that no one cares for, that these are women that no one will fight for.
I said, listen, R. Kelly deserves to be in fucking jail. I helped put him there. Listen, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, why use resources when you know motherfucking well that this jury is going to convict you, and when they do, you are going to get years on years on years. The man is in his 50s. He's not getting out on the first sentence until he's over 80 years old. And then he goes to Chicago, per his lawyers, to take a jury trial in another case and gets more years popped up on that.
We had to talk to lots of women who weren't willing to come on camera.
This goes back to Aaliyah.
Aaliyah's name was said for the first time in a criminal court.
She's not alive to tell her own story.
I was the first girl, and nobody believed me.
His entourage wanted these women's allegations to be snubbed. I said, well, don't you have my daughter? And she said, yes.
We will never know what she is.
I was in the studio, and he questioned me with the gun.
He said, don't fuck with Mr. Kelly.
They threatened to kill my daughter. They threatened to come into my church.
This was a racketeering trial, organized crime charges.
My house was attempted to be set on fire.
We had a big bomb. His car is getting blown up.
You will kill everybody in the house.
How did he get away with this for 30 years?
I can only imagine the trauma that woman has, and then coming out and everyone knowing who she is.
R. Kelly done released a whole, well, he didn't release, okay? He can't even release himself. So listen, he can't release nothing else, all right? So R. Kelly's album of songs that were unofficial were uploaded in album format today, okay? On Spotify and iTunes. Everybody hit me up. Tasha. Remixes and cuts to songs that he didn't want out, okay? That had him admitted to things. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do your first draft, you know what I'm saying? When you writing a book or writing a paper, you know what I'm saying? You remember how you used to have to brainstorm in school? You put the truth down. Then And from there, you start to scratch out to make it just a little bit more fictitious, okay? But them songs that he did not want out came out. Now, let me tell you something. Everybody wondering how it got out. Sony has came out to deny putting it out, and some label called Legendary Records has put it out, okay? So they're trying to trace back who the shell company belongs to that had authorization to release unofficial songs that technically belong to Sony, okay? And so Sony has demanded that iTunes as well as Spotify take down the album, all right? Now, everybody wondering, how did the album get out? I'm going to tell you how it got out. I spent 2 days with this man, Don Russell, okay? If you saw the exclusive interview, we put it on both YouTube and we put it on TashaKLive.com, okay? So go to other and watch, go to each and watch both. Now, I can tell you this, and I think he said this in the interview. The only person that has R. Kelly's recent masters as of the last 6 years is Don Russell. He got them put up in a storage. The actual masters, okay? Tracks that are unreleased in a storage. He's since, after he said that he was innocent, he didn't threaten none of R. Kelly girls. He didn't threaten to blow up no Surviving R. Kelly documentary. He didn't blow up nobody's car. He didn't threaten to release inappropriate pictures of these victims in order to intimidate them, only for the feds to bring the easiest case ever, his phone, his call log, his time, and prove that it was actually him doing R. Kelly's dirty work. But he wanted to brand himself as the tap dancer on my show. Said they had met in the subway. He was tapping to R. Kelly singing. That's what he said, okay? And he's doing that in prison now, tapping to R. Kelly singing, okay? So he is truly a tap dancer. Now, what's interesting about this is that he sat there and told me that he was the only person that was in possession of R. Kelly's music. He was. Now, he's due to turn himself in if he ain't turned himself in. So I best believe before he went in, because, 2 years, 20 months, that's almost 2 years. That's a lot of time to take off and not work and to not have a backup plan. And then R. Kelly, he's running low on legal fees. You need money for legal fees. So what do? You create a possible shell company. I'm just saying hypothetically because he got the masters. He got the master. He got the key to the storage, okay? You create some type of album, upload it, have the residuals and the income coming back to you in the shell company that you started because you are IT geek, okay? You in jail, so it looks like you ain't do it, but you had somebody press send at the right time just so it can collect royalties. So when your tap dancing ass get out, you got a little check to play with. So I'm guaranteeing you with everything in me, this is the person that did it. Okay? This is the person that did it. Moving on.